So the biggest news in the U.S. that the world is watching very closely right now is that crucial vote on the debt ceiling that is due shortly as the Congressional Committee takes a first look at the deal struck between President Joe Biden and the House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. While the vote is simply procedural, that passage is far from guaranteed, with a number of Republicans publicly objecting to the pact, many of which are seeking bigger spending cuts. Assuming the bill passes the so-called committee stage, it will go before the full House of Representatives on Wednesday. For more on this, let's cross over to London, where I'm joined now by Arise business analyst Laurie. Laird has been following this development very closely. About $31 trillion on the table. I have my eye on this money as much as you do. But what's the significance of this vote today?
31.4, but who's counting those, son? And this is the amount that America is allowed to borrow. Now, America hit this debt ceiling back in January. We've employed some accounting tricks of hand, but those have run out, and America will lose the ability to borrow as soon as the 5th of June. That is not that far away. Now, we've got Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, a Republican, and Joe Biden. They've come to a deal. They have both said, no problem. This is going to pass. We have absolutely no problems with this. It's going through. I'm not so sure about that. If I were to bet, I think it probably will go through, but I think we're going to see some fireworks before then. Starting with today, you mentioned that procedural vote that is happening today. In fact, it'll get underway shortly after we go on air. Now, this is ordinarily a rubber stamp sort of thing. This will go before the House Rules Committee, but there are enough right-of-center Republicans or right-wing Republicans who don't like this deal at all, and a couple of them sit on this House Rules Committee. So it's possible, not probable, but possible that this thing will not get through the committee stage to go to a full House vote.
So what happens next? The clock is ticking, my friend.
The clock is ticking. You're absolutely right. I mentioned that June 5th date, and this is a key date. And what this means, and this is really important, it means that Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, thinks that there is not enough money to get to June 15th. June 15th is quite a big day in the tax calendar for people who follow these things. A lot of quarterly corporate tax receipts will come in then. So getting to that point would give America a bit of breathing space. Janet Yellen has made it clear that that is not going to happen. A lot of money goes out on the 2nd of June. That's when Social Security or pension payments go out. And Janet Yellen has given us every sense that once that happens, there is not much money left. Now, let's assume that this gets through the Rules Committee today. And I have my doubts. I think that there could be some real fireworks at this meeting today. I know that there are two Republicans who have said they will not allow this to go to a full vote tomorrow. A third is on the fence. So it may not get through. Let's assume it gets through. It'll go to a House vote tomorrow, the full House. That will probably go through, but difficult to say. After that, it will go to the Senate sometime probably over the weekend, and that brings us to almost the 5th of June.
So what happens if it doesn't pass before June the 5th?
That is the big question, Bosan. We've never been in this situation. Now, we've heard a lot about a debt default. If this doesn't, if we don't get a suspension or lifting of the debt ceiling, there will be a debt default. Well, it depends on how you define debt default. What will happen is America will not have enough money to pay its financial commitments. So nothing about future budgets. This is money that has already been budgeted. America will not be able to meet all its commitments. America, like a lot of rich countries and like Nigeria as well, takes in less money in tax receipts than it pays out in all sorts of things, Social Security and medical payments and schools, hospitals, the whole lot. So it has to borrow. America has always been able to borrow very easily. The dollar is a reserve currency. If we hit this debt ceiling, America will not be able to borrow. So then the Treasury is forced into a decision. What do you pay for? Do you pay to service your debt?
If you ask me, it's a good time to be alive and to see this scenario. We haven't traveled this road. Well, we've traveled this road before. We just haven't gotten to no deal, as it were.
Haven't been this far.
The bridge so far. Let's leave it there. That's okay. Thank you so much, Laurie, for keeping an eye on that. One of the biggest economic news on hand right now around the world.